Cool. Okay. So, welcome back. Complete the square. Relatively easy, or hopefully it is. The first thing that we're going to look at for this one is the coefficient. The leading coefficient is not 1. So, we're taking this portion. We are factoring a 3 out. That means dividing. I'm really dividing these by 3. That leaves me with x squared plus 3x plus something plus 34 minus something. Everybody still with me to this point? Thumbs up. Okay. From here, I'm going to take my b divided by 2 and square it. That gives me 9 halves. So 9 halves is going to go here. 9 halves is not going to go on the outside because I have to take the 3, multiply it to the 9 halves, which is 27 halves. So now I've got 3 factor x plus, x squared plus. And here we take our b divided by 2, which is 3 halves. It's really just x plus 3 halves squared, because I'm factoring this. And then I have to add, and this is where I'm going to get my calculator. 34 minus 27 divided by 2, math, enter. And I get positive 41 halves. This is now officially completed. What questions do we have? Thumbs up if we got that one right. Okay. So does everybody feel good? So Joel, I hate you a little bit right now. What was the only job you had? Yeah, that's right. To tell me to record.
I thought you said you were starting it. That's
I am. Well, no, yeah, I am. But you didn't remind me. You didn't do that. You had one job. One job. That's why Walter's my backup. Walter had already reminded me. Okay. So, go ahead, open up. I want to say it is lesson. What's my next lesson? I don't think I've opened it for you guys. Let's do this. Let me come here. Let me go to Canvas.
13, I think.
Let me go to. Hold on. Close that. I don't think I've opened it yet. Give me 2 seconds. Yep, we want to do 13. So open up Module 4, Lesson 13. We are now solving using completing the square. We're going down to the exercises. We're going to go through all of the exercises. Okay? So here's number 1. Hold on. I don't know who's calling me from North Carolina, so I'm not going to answer that. So number 1 looks a little different than what we've been doing. Okay? Because I'm going to show you 2 ways here. What we've been doing is x squared minus 2x subtract 12 over equals 0, and we've only been working on this. Okay? Because we've been completing the square. Well, we're going to still complete the square. We only need the x squared and the x terms. So now we're completing this square, which means I'm going to have x squared minus 2x plus something equals 12. Now, think about what we've been doing. Because I was adding on this side, I also had to subtract on this side. But if I add a number on this side, what do I have to do on this side to keep it balanced?
Subtract?
No, wait, think about this. Here's my balance. I add 10 pounds on this side. What do I have to do to the other side?
Add it to the other side?
I have to add it to the other side. So here we go. We're still going to do negative 2 divided by 2 squared. Negative 2 divided by negative 2, or negative 2 divided by 2 is 1 squared is 1. So now I can factor. So I've added 1. This gives me x minus 1 squared equals, but I've added 1, 13. So let's stop. Let's think about what we just did. I completed this square. I did b divided by 2 and got -1, and I squared it to get the +1. b divided by 2 is what's always in that parentheses. But I need the b divided by 2 squared to add on both sides. So now I have this equation. Now we actually have an equation. Remember, the goal of solving a quadratic is to find the x-intercepts. So when I solve for my x-intercepts, the goal is to get x by itself. How many possible solutions can we have for a quadratic? How many different solutions can we have? Who remembers?
2.
Yeah, we can have 2, we can have 1. For these, we're going to have 2. So, first step in this method, I'm going to take the square root of both sides to eliminate the squared. So I take the square root of both sides. The square root is the inverse of squaring. So now I'm left with x minus 1 equals. Now, remember, you don't have to copy this down, but I'm going to put this over here. The square root of 4 is 2, because 2 squared is 4. What else is 4? What about -2 times -2? Does that equal 4? Remember, when we take the square root, we always have 2 answers. We have a positive and a negative. So as soon as I take the square root of 13, is this a perfect square? Take your calculator, do the square root of 13, tell me it's going to be decimals. It's not going to be a perfect square. So right now, we have 2 answers. A positive square root of 13 and a negative square root of 13. We're solving for x. So I isolate x by adding 1 to both sides. That leaves me with x equals 1 plus or minus the square root of 13. That means I have x-intercepts at 2 different places, 2 different answers, because this is 1 plus the square root of 13 and 1 minus the square root of 13. They're irrational because non-perfect square roots are irrational numbers, which means the decimals never, ever, ever end. So let's talk about hiccups. The only thing that was different from this to what you're used to is the number was on the side. You're still completing the square, you're just adding to both sides. If you don't take the square root and have a positive and a negative, you done screwed up. Can we try another one? Probably would be a good idea, yeah? So, we find number 2 here. Okay, a little bit trickier. Number 2, we have 1/2 r squared, or 1/2 r squared minus 6r equals 2. Okay, everybody still with me? So, there is a leading coefficient. We cannot have that. So I need to get out the 1/2. So now I have 1/2 is factored, r squared minus what? If I'm pulling out the 1/2, I can't divide by 1/2, so I'm multiplying by the reciprocal. So that means me minus 12r plus something equals 2 plus something. Everybody still with me? Have I lost anybody yet? Now would be the time to say, hey, Mr. H, I don't understand what you did. So we're really dividing out a 1/2. The 1/2 is my factor, but I can't divide a fraction by a fraction. So we're multiplying by the reciprocal, which is -6 times 2. 1/2 times 2 is r squared. Okay? That's how we're getting these numbers. We're multiplying by the reciprocal. So now I'm doing b divided by 2, which is -12 divided by 2 squared. Well, that's -12 divided by 2 is 36, because that's 6 squared. is positive 36, positive 36. Thumbs up if you understand where I'm getting the 36. Wait. What did I do wrong? Because I did do something wrong. Go back. This 36 is fine.
Yeah, the last number. You didn't
I forgot to take the 1/2 multiplied by the 36, which is 18. Okay, do you see where I made the mistake? From here, now we're factoring. So now I have 1/2. I've completed the square. B divided by 2 is -6. So it's R minus 6 squared equals 20. Okay. From here, we're solving. We're solving the equation. My first step to solve this equation is not taking the square root because I need to get rid of this 1/2. In order to get rid of 1/2, I'm multiplying by the reciprocal. That's gone. That leaves me R minus 6 squared. It's like we're solving an equation, guys, because we are. Equals 40. Ladies and gentlemen, do we have questions yet? Okay, from here, we take the square root of both sides. As soon as I take the square root of both sides, that's eliminating the squared. Leaves me R minus 6 equals positive and negative. This is a non-perfect square. Square root of 40. Now, can you factor this to a little bit more? Yes. It's actually the square root of 4 times the square root of 10, which is 2 square roots of 10. But I'm not overly worried about that yet. Then I add 6 to both sides. I would be fine if you gave me an answer of 6 plus or minus the square root of 40. Okay, do you think we can try one on our own? Thumbs up, yes. Thumbs sideways, yeah, I'm going to get stuck. I might need help. Thumbs down. Okay, I'm going to leave this one. If you know how to complete the square, the solving portion is truly just an equation. 2p squared plus 8p equals 7, I believe. Yes. Okay. I'm going to give you no more than 2 minutes to try this. If you're watching the video, just skip ahead a little bit after you've tried it. Let's go 1 more minute. As you're working, I'm going to kind of work through it as well. Once you're done, take a look. I've got it up on the board. If your answer does not match mine, let's try to figure out why. Give me a thumbs up, even if you didn't finish it. Give me a thumbs up if you made it through your steps and you're matching my steps. A thumbs up if you matched my steps. What questions?
Wait,
go ahead.
I have a question.
Yeah.
All right, so at the beginning, it's 8, and then it'll be divided by 2, right?
Uh-huh.
And then you get 4p.
Right.
But with the next step, how do you do the next step?
4 divided by 2 is 2. This is my b divided by 2. Remember, b divided by 2 is always going to be that number. So b divided by 2 is 2, but I have to do 2 squared to get the 4. Then I take the 2 times the 4, because that's really what I've added to this side, which is 8 on this side. Does that make a little bit more sense, Alex?
All right.
Yes? No, I mean, does it make more sense?
It's the opposite way around, because the other problem you did was a half, right?
Right. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Okay, are we good? Last practice problem. Here we go. I'll leave that one up. Let's do number 4. I think there's a number 4. I might be lying to myself, but I'm pretty sure there's a number 4. Ah, okay. Definitely trickier. 2y squared. Let's see if you guys can think through this one. Plus 3y minus 5 equals 4. Here's my suggestion before you start. Get this to match how all of the other problems were to begin with. So how are you going to get this problem to match how all of the other problems were to begin with? Good luck. I'll give you, it is 11:07. I'll give you until 11:11. Give it a try. Somebody is trying to join class. Hello, Emily.
Hi, I'm sorry, I had to leave my house, and now I'm here.
Okay, well, this is our last practice problem for the day. There will be a video posted. I would suggest kind of hanging tight until the video is posted and watch that video, okay?
All right.
Okay, so just hang in there. Ladies and gentlemen, you got 2 more minutes on this. Remember, we're solving the quadratic today. Not only are we completing the square, but we are solving the quadratic. Last minute. Okay, here we go. So, I gave you a hint that I would start by trying to set this up the same way all the others were, which means leaving the y squared and the y, or the x squared and the x, or whatever it happens to be on the same side. So I'm going to add 5 to both sides. That leaves me 2y squared plus 3y equals 9. Is it all right? Is this color marker all right? Yes, no? Yeah? Okay. Then I can divide by 2. So that leaves me with 2y squared plus 3/2 y plus something equals 9 plus something. Now, this is where it gets a little bit tricky. My b is 3/2. Dividing it by 2 is really multiplying it by 2. So that's 6 divided by 2, which is 3, squared, which is 9. Everybody still with me? So if I add 9 on this side, I have to...
Your camera's like pixelated, so I can't see the board that well.
Is Walter the only one who can't see the board real well?
We can see the black, but then the blue.
Okay, let's do the...
We can see it, but it's really hard.
Okay, let's go back to the black then. So let's start again. Add 5 to both sides leaves me with 2y squared plus 3y equals 9. Does everybody understand that part? Okay, so then we're going to divide by the 2 because we need to have a leading coefficient of 1. Y squared plus 3/2 y plus something equals 9 plus something. To keep it balanced, we need to add on both sides. Now, we take b. We have to do b divided by 2, which is 3/2 divided by 2. Well, remember, I can't divide a fraction by a fraction. So we have to take 3/2 and multiply it by 2. So b divided by 2 is really 3. 3 squared is 9. Still with me? Yes? But 2 times 9 is 18. So now I've got 2y plus 3 equals 27. Remember, this is squared. Have I lost anybody yet? Divide by 2. Divide by 2. That leaves me y plus 3 squared equals 27/2. Take the square root of both sides. I'm going to bring it over here. Okay, so I'm bringing it over here. That gives me y plus 3 equals the square root, positive and negative, of 27/2. Subtract 3. My solutions now are y equals -3 plus or minus the square root of 27/2. What questions do we have? You are attempting the entire problem set. I am available every day from 12:50 to 2:20.